Managing Abroad Programs, Travel Safety and Emergency Preparedness, for Program Leaders and Program Assistants. My name is Alexis Santi. I'm the Coordinator of Travel Safety for Cornell University. Here are my main points. 1. You want to be prepared. Analyze potential risks and educate yourself and students and develop a plan. 2. Incidents. What to do when something goes wrong. 3. Emergencies. Putting your plan into place when the unexpected occurs. If you have questions, please contact me at AES 357 or on campus at 607-255-8830. My mobile number is also available to all faculty and administrators, which is 314-578-7766. Be prepared before you depart. Analyze the known risks of your travel location. Develop a resource list. Gather flight information of all your students and ensure that they have your contact information. Develop your emergency plan, and select a student leader. It's useful in this stage to really gather all the information that you can to familiarize yourself not only with your program, but with your list of students. What are their special skills? What are their levels of sophistication in traveling abroad, language development, and perhaps they may even have emergency preparedness information that will assist you. Finally, logically, this is a different experience than teaching in the classroom once or twice a week. This is an experience that will be a 24/7 assignment that will provide different challenges for you as a faculty member that may be different than your experience here in Ithaca. What is a resource list? You want to make information easy to follow and clear. So that means everything that your program has to do with, you're creating a program file. Your hotel information, the travel itinerary dates, the locations where you'll be, the phone numbers of contact partners, all of it should be in one place. I have good forms that I give to you as templates for this information. And then you want to share this information with not only the people that are abroad and your students, but also with an administrator here at Cornell University. Maybe it's someone in your department. It can always be myself, the Coordinator of Travel Safety, or the Director of Risk Management. We'd like to assist during this stage, so we extend ourselves to you. Once you do arrive, you're going to activate your cell phone number and contact the department and anyone else about how to contact you. You should notify the department or the unit that you're working with of any no-shows. You should refrain from turning off your phone for too long of periods of time in order so that people can get a hold of you. If you prefer using an email address that's not your Cornell email address, make sure you let us know. You should share your number with your students and on-site colleagues. Next, orientation. An orientation can happen before you go abroad or in your first days of being abroad. And really what you're trying to do is establish an itinerary and expectations of the group. So, establish a clear understanding of, are visitors allowed? What are the discipline issues that you're most concerned with? And you're turning into an understanding of what are the group stages of group development? What are the group dynamics that you need to be aware of? Who are some students that may provide additional leadership support for you during this time? There'll be a period of time in which there may be conflict, and how will you deal with that? Set up expectations so that your students understand how you will be dealing with that. Next, make sure everyone has emergency information. The way to contact and activate emergency information through Cornell is by contacting the Cornell University Police. And that phone number is 607-255-1111. They're available 365 days of a year. Craig McAllister will be your contact in order to coordinate all of that information. However, Cornell Police can set that all in motion. More about orientation. Advise students of those known risks. Obtain their cell phone numbers and contact information. Create a communication tree. Implement some sort of buddy system. Advise students to never leave without money or ID from their rooms. And discuss your emergency plan with them. You should discuss an emergency plan with your students. In the event that something happens to the hotel or the area in which you are traveling, where will it be that you will gather? Outside of the city, perhaps. And so it doesn't hurt to make sure that everybody is aware of that emergency plan. Discuss the potential crises that could occur and agree how and when to check in. You want to designate a primary and secondary meeting place, like I just said, and when something does happen, report to Cornell University. And then require students to check in with home. Goals. In an international classroom, develop a clear understanding that this course is the same as any other on campus, and that they're representing Cornell University internationally. Here's a good guideline for dealing with disciplinary issues. First, you give an oral warning, and you inform the department or the unit that you're working with. Second, a written warning to the student. Third, should lead to dismissal. These are egregious violations that allow you to proceed with the course and your work as a faculty member. Just because you're abroad does not mean that everything proceeds along with a when in Rome mentality. Parental contact, important information. Program leaders should not make direct contact, initial contact with family members without the permission of the student. The student should communicate with their parents about any incidents, and it's important to ensure that the students are contacting and communicating with their parents on a regular basis. Do not presume that the student's parents are the listed emergency contact. Here are some exceptions for parental contact. The student is unable to speak for themselves. The student has been missing for more than 24 hours. The student is perceived to be a danger to themselves and others. Okay, what are international incidents? Rape or sexual assault, severe poisoning or allergic reactions, anything of a psychiatric nature, any incident involving injuries, any natural disasters, a terrorist attack, crime, civil unrest, and outbreak of war. All of these incidents have happened on Cornell Abroad trips. So it's important that you, as the program leader, understand that things do come up in trips and that you will be asked to rise to the occasion. Mental health, very important and an increasing aspect of what it means to lead a trip while you're abroad. The Gannett Health Center reviews the list of students who will be going abroad and will communicate directly with those students to understand what is it that the students need. They will advise the students to obtain medicine for the duration of their trip. You may ask students to self-disclose their medications and any conditions that prevent them from fully participating in the trip. We can provide you a self-disclosure form that you can use with your students. Students are very open to this, and it's something that you need to inform yourself with when traveling abroad with a group. During the trip, resist the urge to diagnose your students and focus on behaviors. Specific behaviors that are worth mentioning are a list like this: abrupt, radical changes in behavior, isolation from others, poor attendance in class, sudden outbursts of anger, alcohol and drug abuse. You will create a communication understanding with different students inside of the group. You will directly communicate with students and say, hey, how's so-and-so doing? Tell me, what's going on with your classes now? This is a difficult part. Contact Gannett Health Services for additional information. Water safety. Time and time again, we find in the international education community that water is one of the likely ways where students will become seriously injured or perhaps die. You need to be informed about the conditions or places that you will be swimming as part of your itinerary, or locations that students may be swimming on their own. So inform students that location is okay and that is not. You don't need to be an expert, but you can create broad understandings of places which are precarious, including any fast-moving bodies of water. You should be certain of a student's swimming abilities, but you don't need to assess their swimming abilities. Crisis preparedness. Cornell always has staff to assist you in case of emergencies. The first step is to call the university police. 365 days a year, 24/7, that's your first step. They will set up an emergency chain of response. You will then utilize your plan. In the event anyone is seriously injured or in a situation of political unrest and an evacuation is appropriate, you can and should activate the Frontier Medics emergency evacuation information. What this does is, in the event a student is injured, MEDEX will provide a transportation to a more appropriate facility, if such is needed, where a student can get the care and coverage that they need. Frontier Medics will also assist with an evacuation out of country and will provide assistance to the Director of Risk Management. All Cornell business-related travel is covered under this plan. The Frontier Medics ID number is the number that is listed here, 343211. The phone number is dependent on the country in which you are traveling. On the back of your MEDEX cards, you will find that information. And if you have any additional questions, contact us at Cornell Abroad or Risk Management. Priorities in a crisis. Number 1, account for all students, staff, and faculty on site. Provide Craig McAllister with updates. Allow Risk Management to coordinate and communicate to the appropriate university staff. Do not feel as if that is also your duty, not only dealing with the crisis on hand, but then communicating with not only parents and staff, but everybody here at Cornell. Leave that to us. You want to assess the safety of the location in which you are currently situated for continued program presence. You want to communicate and relay the plan of action to all parties involved in country. This comes to our conclusion. You want to prevent incidents by providing strong leadership and a thorough understanding of all risks in developing a plan. 2, prepare. For all conceivable emergencies, provide information, tools, and resources to parties whose job it is to assist you. And finally, respond. Respond to the needs of students, faculty, and staff as a leader for the trip. By following these guidelines, you will reduce not only your anxiety for these trips, but everyone involved. If you have additional questions, I am more than happy to sit down for a consultation and support your efforts. My email address is aes357@cornell.edu. My phone number in the office is 255-8830. Thank you.